Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this meditation brought to you by the Baum Training Institute for Family Recovery Services. This is Mike DeForbes, and for this morning meditation, I plan to do a self-inquiry meditation. So let me just explain what it is. It won't take long. Many times people think the word meditation means sitting in silence. I used to think that myself. And that is a form of meditation, which works for many people. And that's great. This is not a knock on silent meditation. However, there are many types of relaxing, centering practices that are meditations of types that involve talking and guiding. The safe place visualization that I did last week is a form of that. It's what I would call a visualization meditation. And today, I'm going to do a self-inquiry meditation, which is basically guiding you through an experience of peace, especially during this time, through some questions that I'd like you to ponder as we go through it. And so in this current situation that our planet is, this human population is experiencing right now, we may be doing centering practices maybe in the morning, once a day, and that may carry us through the rest of the day for some of us. However, if you're like me, my emotions can come strong, sharp, and fast, and can effectively discount whatever morning meditation I had done hours and hours earlier, no matter how peaceful it was back then. It seems like sometimes my emotions can pop up moment to moment. And so this meditation that I'm doing can also be done as an exercise when that happens for some of you. So for those of us who can have these anxious feelings and thoughts pop up, especially during this time in our country, for the reasons that it is, understandably, and you can have these emotions pop up suddenly and really, cause you to stumble emotionally. This can be helpful for that. It's based on actually what a meditation that I did yesterday in the group coaching that I thought was successful, and we can try it out. It can easily be used for this situation, this current situation that our country is facing. And so the only requirement really for it is that you are able to access the peace within yourself in a very real and palpable way, to the point where you know you've accessed it. You just know you've accessed the peace that we talk about in step 1 of the 7 steps when we say, be the peace. We talk about peace as an actual palpable thing that you can experience, mostly in the moment by being mindful. And so there's enough participants on this call that I can even ask you one by one, just what is the way that you access this peace? Because I'm going to ask you to do that. Everyone's different. So I'm going to ask you to access that peace for yourself. Some people, it might be the 448. Some people, it might be visualizing. Other people, it might be some other kind of breath work, or even just silently noticing the peace within. That's another way to do it. And again, like I said, I'm just going to go up and down. This is going to be an interactive, it's a self-inquiry meditation. So it's going to be a little bit interactive, but I promise you this will be rewarding and peaceful by the end of it. Okay. So, hi, Nadia. I know that you went through this last night. I just want to ask you really quick, just like in a 1 or 2 word answer. what is the way that you access the peace quickly for yourself?
Breath work. Good morning, everybody.
Morning. Thank you. Thank you. So why don't you start doing that right now? And I'm going to go down the list. Mindy, what is your quickest, easiest way to access the peace within that we talk about?
I guess doing the breath work also, 448.
Okay, 448. Okay, thank you very much. Linda, how about yourself? What is your easiest, quickest way to access the peace within that we talk about at the Balm?
To get centered, close my eyes and just sort of, it's not really the 448, but slow breathing.
Slowed, yeah. Mm-hmm. Slow, focused breathing where you're just conscious of your breathing?
Correct.
Okay. So do you mind doing that right now so you can access the peace within? I'm asking everybody to do their own centering that helps them. I might do a little bit of a countdown just to signify that we're starting the self-inquiry. But why don't you just go ahead and start doing that right now? And Donna, how about you? What is your easiest, quickest way to access the peace within?
Well, slow, calm breathing, but then also feeling God close to me and knowing, or feeling his peace and knowing that he's in control and I'm not.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes, lots of times it's by simply, using thoughts. That's really, in my opinion, thoughts can be used to make us really anxious, or thoughts can be used to help us achieve peace. So remember that your mind is a tool. It works for you, but lots of times it feels like we work for it, and we forget that we're in control of it. So when you do something like what Donna mentioned, you are giving yourself the power over your mind, using the tool, what it was meant for. It works for you. So thank you for reminding us of that. And the last one is a phone number that I see here, 561. Is that okay? Do you feel comfortable sharing what your easiest, quickest way to access the peace within is? Are you able to unmute yourself?
Hello.
Hello.
448 in prayer.
Great. Thank you very much. Really appreciate it, Kim. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give everybody like a minute on their own in silence to use whatever centering practices you have to access the peace within. And at the end of it, I will do a quick tension relieving countdown to start the self-inquiry. That will hopefully help to strengthen and build the peace that you have accessed even more. Okay, so I'm just going to go quiet for like a minute. I promise this will end when it's supposed to end. Okay, it's been around a minute, and I just wanted to add to your piece by just doing a quick tension relieving countdown. So I'm just going to count down backwards from 10. And when I hit 0, all the tension that you may be feeling will be drained from your body. So just imagine your tension draining like water in a bathtub after the stopper has been let out, and it's slowly draining as I count down. And then when I reach the end, all the tension will be gone. Ready? 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. On the count of 0, all the tension will be released from your body. 0. Take a nice cleansing breath to breathe out the remaining bits of tension. And hopefully you are now feeling the peace of step 1 of the 7 steps. Be the peace, that palpable peace that you know, that you are familiar with. And so I want you to hold on to that peace and just be in that space. Be, not just be in or hold on to, be that space. Okay? And notice that it is all around you. It's not just in your heart or in your body. If you actually open your eyes and sense the peace, you will notice that it's everywhere. So it's always there when you need it. And so when anxieties come up, especially during this time, it's easy to focus on our thoughts and lose track of where the peace is. But if thoughts get really strong and the anxieties come up, they can seem overpowering. But I guarantee you that the peace is there and it can help you. And let me show you this with the self-inquiry. So what I want everyone to do is, in the energy of the peace, in the space of the peace, bring up an anxiety that you have right now about this current situation in your head. So you're now holding the anxiety thought in the space of the peace that you're in. And first notice that they can exist together, that it's possible to feel peace and have a thought of anxiety together. They don't have to be mutually exclusive. Now I'm going to ask you some questions, some self-inquiry questions about the peace in relation to this thought, in relation to this anxiety. And just ponder them. Is the peace that you feel right now, is it worried? Now, as I say these things, your focus and attention is the most important thing. That is your main power. You can either focus on the peace or you can focus on the thought. Remember that. Where you choose to put your attention is your power. Okay? So lots of times the anxiety feels like it magnetically pulls us to the thoughts. But this is where you should challenge yourself and be strong and remember that you are the peace. And just ask yourself, does the peace feel worried or threatened by the thought, by the anxiety? Does the peace, the energy of the peace that you are in, have a problem? with the thought? Does it need anything from this situation? Again, if you go to thoughts, you will feel those thoughts. This is really good practice. This is how we maintain our peace, through this little exercise. So even though I say that, does the peace need anything? The thought may say yes, but where you choose to put your focus is the most important thing. If you stay with the peace, you will get your answer. Does the peace that you're in need anything from this situation? Is it rejecting anything from this situation? The mind needs things. The mind rejects things. But notice the peace. Focus on the peace and ask yourself, does the peace need anything from this situation? Does it reject anything from the situation? Does it want anything, any outcome out of this situation? Is it desperate? Does it see a problem? Is it anxious? Now notice if you are focused on the peace, which is, again, the focus and the peace is your power. All of those questions, most likely you've answered no. It's just there being peaceful and complete on its own. It's not needing anything. It's not wanting any outcome. It's not rejecting anything about the situation. It's totally open and accepting. It doesn't see the problem that the mind worries about. So train your attention and your focus away from thoughts. We are so trained to thoughts. Train your focus and attention to the peace within that you can access easily. And ask yourself these questions. I'm going to ask one more question now. It's more like it's a question. Sit with the peace in the situation and ask it, instead of negative consequences of our current country's situation, can the peace see any different types of results of this? Any different types of things the peace is noticing besides just negative consequences that comes out of this situation? Or can the peace notice something else? Does the peace notice different results than just negative consequences? Okay, so that was the self-inquiry meditation. And this is, again, the power of your focus and the power to access the peace within is one of the greatest powers that you have that can definitely be used in this situation. And so this meditation and all the meditations that we do, the safe place visualization that I did last week, all of them can be found on the Family Recovery Services YouTube page. If you're a member of the BOMB community, you can find many more meditations and classes I and others have taught on deepening your experience of the peace on the Be the Peace You Wish to See in the World course at thebombtraininginstitute.com. So these special meditation calls and support groups will continue daily through April 7. Thank you for coming, and remember to be a loving mirror. Have a good day, everyone. Thank you.